All right, in this last video, I want to go ahead and just investigate this thing a little bit more. And so the thing I want to say is, well, what happens to the process if we change the required reserve ratio? If we change the reserve requirement, okay? So I'm going to go back to the original example, but I'm just going to change this reserve requirement. And this might help you if it's still not very clear. It might help you. So before it was 10%, and now we're going to say, well, it's 20% now. So this 20% is our new required reserve ratio. Okay. So let's first give the basic idea, and then let's actually show it. Okay. So if we raise our required reserve ratio, then you must keep more reserves. So that means you're going to make smaller loans, right? You're going to make less loans, less total money will be loaned. So this is going to decrease the multiplier. So this multiplication will be smaller. Let's go ahead and see how it looks. Okay, so we're dealing with this 20% required reserve ratio. So our B of A, right? We get $1,000 cash is put in the bank. Okay. So the first step, actually, the first thing is not going to be any different. We get a deposit of 1,000, and they have now 1,000 of reserves. Okay, but where the difference comes in is now. The difference comes in is now their loan. So they must keep 20%. So they must keep 20% of 1,000. So now they have to keep 200. So now the maximum loan they can make is only 800. They're not allowed to loan 900 anymore because they have to keep more. And so our deposit created by this is smaller, okay? Because they can only loan 800. And the next round is also going to be smaller again because they're going to have to keep 20%. They can only loan 80%, right? And so this is going to they can only loan the 80%, right? Before they were able to loan out 90% of any deposits they received, but now they can only loan out 80%. So each round will be smaller, right? So this if it goes to the next bank, then this $800, well, they're going to have to keep 20%, so they're going to have to keep 160, and they can only loan out 640. So each round is smaller, right? So each round of lending is smaller. If we want to actually calculate it, so if we want to calculate the multiplier, we can just do it here. So we see, well, now our required reserve ratio is 20%, and so this is 5 times, right? This is just 5. So our required reserve ratio going up makes us keep more reserves, make less loans, and it's going to make this multiplication smaller. In our next chapter, next week, we'll come back and talk about the role that the central bank, the Federal Reserve, plays in all of this, and we'll add on to this part. But it's really important to understand this T account. It's worth investing some time in doing it.